Are you checking the website to make sure we're broadcasting? Or what are
Yeah,
you
one
doing?
second.
Okay.
We're good. We're live.
We are live.
What?
Good evening, nerds, and welcome to Nerds with Mics. This is actually our 18th episode, guys, and it's our first live episode.
What?
Can
We're
you-
live right now?
We are live
Wow.
on the world of Twitch, so one of my favorite networks, obviously. So thanks for joining us. This is Nerds with Mics. It's a weekly podcast about movies, games, TV shows, and comics. And it's not even a podcast anymore. Now it's video.
It's a TV show.
It's a
A
TV
video
show.
cast,
It's
if you would.
a video cast. This is Nerds with Mics. And we're back. So thanks for being a part of our first video podcast. Hopefully one of many. I'm Travis,
I'm Justin.
I'm Maxwell.
and thanks once again for stopping in. So we always like to start off our podcast, by asking, what everybody's been up to. So Maxwell, we'll go ahead and start with you down in Florida.
Well, first off, I was going to say, as you guys noticed, I am not wearing a Nerds with Mike shirt because these sons of bitches never sent me one.
Oh, we paid for these ourselves. Don't
Yeah,
you
we did.
worry.
Hey, that's fine. I
You
got
can
money
order it from our
for a
website,
shirt.
bro.
But no, it's just I've been working. That's pretty much it. Battlefield 1 beta.
Oh, have you actually got to play?
Yeah, it was like a 6.5 gig download, but it was worth the time. It's a really enjoyable game. I'll say that much.
It really is. I'm having a lot of fun. Also, I can't wait for the new or for that game to actually come out. I actually pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition just the other day.
You must be hood rich ordering the Ultimate Edition in like $116.
Yeah, with the EA Access, it was 116.
Yeah.
What do you actually get out of that one?
You get the game, unlike the Amazon Edition,
That's
where you
a good
don't
start.
get the game. Yeah.
The game.
You get the premium content, which is like DLC for 2 years, and then you get it's just some extra bonuses, skins, weapons. I think I'm not really sure. I had the Xbox credit, so I got it.
Yeah, I think it should come with a rifle with a bayonet for you to ram through your friends.
Oh wow!
I think that would be ideal.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a real life one?
yeah, real life one.
Oh,
What
man.
about you, Justin? What have you been up to?
Well, I've been playing Battlefield 1. I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege with my boy Neon Heads, who's hopefully watching right now. Said he was going to.
He better be.
I know. And then I've been playing a lot of Siege, and a lot of Battlefield.
One of these days, I would love to start this podcast, and when I ask you what you've been up to, your answer in some way, shape, or form will not have Rainbow Six Siege in it.
Well, when that day comes, it'll be Rust again.
It'll probably be when they make the SOCOM remastered, right?
Which
Oh, my
hopefully,
goodness.
as of right now, the PlayStation conference is going on. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we get SOCOM remastered.
It's probably not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No, it's-
Hey,
you can dream, though. A guy can dream.
I know.
All right. Well, myself, I've been playing the Battlefield 1 beta as well. Other than that, I have not been playing No Man's Sky like the past 3 weeks, so have not been playing that still.
Oh, what a dud.
Yeah, what a dud.
Don't laugh.
And
at
who
us.
called it?
You
Who called it?
You called
Maxwell, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Man, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure you would have much rather have seen us been happy to play it as opposed to being right.
That's debatable, but it just seems to be that with our podcast, we call it the future. We change the future. I don't know.
Well,
what the
hopefully
scenario
during
is,
this episode today, we can say some things that might come true.
Yes. SOCOM remastered, maybe?
If we have any SOCOM fans out there, we'd love to see who shares the same interest as Justin over here.
There are dozens of us.
I hear
Dozens.
that. I hear that dozens. That's a lot, man.
So whenever I see my headphones hanging down like this,
Uh-huh.
it always looks like an earring, and then I feel like Rufio. Speaking of Rufio, did you guys see where the cast of Hook got back together? All the Lost Boys got together, and they did a reshoot in costume.
No, I didn't see that.
I seen
Yeah,
that,
it's
but
it's
you know
been a
who,
few weeks, but
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
You know who wasn't there?
Oh,
Oh yeah, gosh.
Poor Robin Williams.
Way to just kill the mood.
I loved Hook though. That was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. I don't know about you guys, but I loved Hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like Steven Spielberg directed it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he didn't like it. Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy?
He has terrible.
It's one of his like least favorite movies he made.
I could think of a couple other movies he's made that I didn't like more so than Hook. So, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. So,
Yes.
all right, let's go ahead and get started with some movie news. Maxwell, you want to start us off?
You know what? I suppose I should do that since that's what we planned on doing. So here's a big deal. When you talk about millions of dollars, people usually do just about anything, right?
Pretty much.
What if I was going to give you $150 million and I
I'll
was
do
like,
it.
hey, you know what? Will you star in 2 movies for me? Just 2 movies that are probably about 2.5 hours long.
Absolutely, I'll do that.
Yeah, right? Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what the movie is. Well, for some people, they've already been in these movies. This person, Daniel Craig, was asked to go back and be in Bond again.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
I mean, look at him. He's so handsome and dapper, and he does such a good job as James Bond. Why wouldn't he do it?
I know.
But you know what? His quote, he said he would rather slash his wrists before playing Bond again.
Really?
Wow.
That's
So-
a big deal.
That's a little extreme,
That
I
is-
think.
Yeah, that is a big deal. It kind of reminds me of how much Harrison Ford used to hate playing Han Solo, and ever since Star Wars Episode 2, he tried to get himself killed off of the movie. I've never seen a person hate the role so much to say you're going to
Has
slash
he ever
your-
said?
Oh,
Yeah,
go
has he ever said why?
I'm not.
Daniel Craig?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said. I want to say he said that getting in shape for Bond is like just such a grueling experience, and he's in his 50s now. It's just one of those things where it's not fun anymore, and he just doesn't want to do it. It's a shame because he's such a great Bond. But you know, I wouldn't want to do what he has to do either.
I guess not everybody can be Hugh Jackman, right?
I did hear previously that Christoph Waltz. I hope I'm saying that name right. He said he would return if Daniel Craig returns. So, hopefully, we'll get a movie with the two of them back.
Yeah, spoiler alert, I haven't seen the newest Bond, so I didn't know he survived. So
Whoopsie.
thanks for ruining that for
Sorry
me.
about
I
that.
really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I love all the Bond movies. I think Daniel Craig does a great job as Bond, but to be fair, like, I mean, you could pay me $150 million to be miserable. I mean, you know, I'm fine with that. So,
Yeah. You'll get paid $150 million to get in shape.
Yes.
yep, that's pretty much
Basically.
right.
Travel
And he
the
doesn't
world
wanna do
with
that.
beautiful women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's stay on the topic of movies, but let's kind of switch gears and go into video game movies. So Justin, do you have some news for us?
I do. Sony just removed Uncharted, the movie, from their release schedule. It was originally slated to be released next June 30th, 2017. But that's no longer the case. I don't know when it's going to come out. It's still in the works, but there's currently no director or, more importantly, no Nathan Drake that has been cast.
No Marky Mark?
No Marky Mark. People were not happy with the idea of Marky Mark being Nathan Drake, and I can't blame them.
Yeah, I definitely could not see him as Nathan Drake.
No, he would be horrible. Now, speaking of video game movies, though, well, real quick, who would you want to see be Nathan Drake?
Oh, I think we've had this conversation in one of our very first episodes. I think John Hamm would be a good pick.
I do too, but he might be too old now.
That's a possibility. He could be an older Nathan Drake, maybe.
I remember I said Andy Samberg one time, and you guys laughed.
That
at
was
me.
yeah, that's a terrible idea.
What about Jason Sudeikis?
No.
he would be more
I mean,
the
he's a
comedy
great actor,
side.
but-
He'd be more the comedy side of things, but I don't know necessarily if he would make a great action, the action part of Nathan Drake.
I don't know. I guess we'll never know.
What about Anthony Mackie?
He could do everything. Why not?
I know. Yeah.
What
Oh,
about?
Chris Pratt would be good.
Ooh.
He's in everything now, though.
Yeah.
That's
'cause
not
he's
his
good.
fault. That's not.
Okay,
It's not his fault. He's good at what he does.
I know.
So Justin, there's an old video game that was supposed to come out with a movie, right?
Yes, that's right. So probably 10, 15 years ago, it was one of the Splinter Cell games. I remember I opened up the game, fresh from GameStop, and there's a little insert inside about a Splinter Cell movie. It said coming like next year, and I remember George Clooney was supposed to star in it, or that was the rumor, and it never happened. So, I think we're getting a Watch Dogs movie, we're getting an Assassin's Creed movie. Come on, Ubisoft. Give me that Splinter Cell movie. I want it. It's long overdue.
Listen, I don't care who plays Sam Fisher, but as long as Michael Ironside just dubs over their voice throughout the whole movie, I'm completely fine with that. Because the voice of Sam Fisher to me is a big deal. So I know.
Well,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say that Jason Statham, I think, would be good for that role.
Is Sam Fisher?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about that.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
He's got the look for it and the action.
Yeah, we can agree to disagree. It's fine.
We'll just disagree.
Yeah. So let's jump right into some gaming news.
Yeah, what do we want to talk about now?
So we kind of mentioned it during what we've been doing, but Battlefield 1 beta.
Oh my gosh.
It's fantastic.
It's so much fun.
It is really, really good. Here's a couple clips of Justin murdering a few people.
What up?
Bayonet kills and whatnot. But my only complaint about the beta is that even though there's 2 game maps, even though there's 2 game modes, there's only 1 game map. And that map, I mean, it's a fantastic map, but there's only so many times you can play it in
a row.
Yeah. My thought process is if they're going to have 2 game modes, they should have 2 different maps for each mode.
Yes,
that would be
that's
kinda
what I
cool.
was thinking.
But however, DICE is actually asking on Twitter about suggesting new maps for the beta.
Oh yeah.
But as of now, there's only 1 map, and the beta supposedly ends on September 8th.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah, so that is literally tomorrow. So unless maybe they're going to close the beta down, going to maybe launch it again as it gets closer to the release date with a new map.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely would like to see something that's a drastic change from the desert. Maybe something that's like a dense forest or maybe a town that's in ruins possibly. I think that would be a really good option. But yeah, I'm hoping a beta comes back out with a different map. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
What's the release date of the game?
October 13th, I think.
October something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I want to say it's October 13th. So it's not going to be too much time from now. So, yep. So we also have some news about Batman Return to Arkham. This game is going to be released on October 21st. Do we still care about Batman, guys?
I mean, I care about the game, but I feel like these remastered editions should have happened a long time ago.
Yeah, and this remastered is getting released by itself. It's not coming with like it's not doing all 3, right?
I'm not sure actually. That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to come out with all 3 games, I think that would be kind of cool. It's kind of like a trilogy that's all remastered. However, it's just a little too late for me.
Yeah. What they should have done is I don't really understand the point in releasing a remastered anything during the peak game sale season.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
am I going to pick up Batman Arkham Remastered, or am I going to pick up another new game that's coming out this fall or winter? I'm probably not going to pick up Arkham. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. Because we also have BioShock Collection getting remastered, getting ready to release in September as well.
But the thing with BioShock is it seems like it's been so long since we got one that I kind of am interested in that one. So I guess I just kind of, contradicted myself.
What about you, Maxwell? Do you think it's a little too late for this re-release or remaster to come out?
Well, I don't know, because I still have not gotten into those games, and every time I see them, just like right now, that clip, I'm like, damn, I want to pick that game up. So do we have an idea of what kind of cost that would be?
Typically with the remasters, they're usually around a $40 price range.
40
typically.
to 60, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go for the full rate.
I could see if they release it with all 3 games in a pack for somebody like yourself that haven't actually played the games. I think that would be a good option. But for people that's already played it once before, I don't see a whole lot of people picking it up and going back and replaying it. So
right.
So all right. Well, on to more news. Justin, I have actually played a little bit of Ark, but I haven't played a ton. So you have some Ark news for us?
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of controversial, but actually, Neon Heads is in fact watching the show. He just said he could barely hear me. Sorry about that. I hope it sounds better.
Talk up like a man.
Talk up. Neon and I, though, we play Ark together a lot, and it's an early access survival game on Steam. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like Rust, but there's dinosaurs. You tame dinosaurs. You build houses, whatever. But it's an early access title, which is already kind of a controversial topic for some. And they just released paid DLC last week.
Already?
Yeah, and it's not even it's not even hit final release yet. Yeah, I see the look on your face. You're stunned.
Because I'm part of the early access, and the fact that the full game is not even released yet, and they're already charging you for DLC just
I
seems
know.
kind of crazy to me.
Yeah. Now, the developer, he did say that every day they wake up and they are trying to think of ways to just better this game and to keep people playing. And, I guess features like this, because it is a complete overhaul of the game. It's not just some, you know, I don't really know what you would call it, but it's a complete, it's basically its own game in a way. So that does cost money,
Right?
but I feel like those resources would have been better spent, getting the main game to release, and then you worry about DLC.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, because the fact is, you still want people to buy into your game that hasn't even signed up yet you're already charging the people that's been adamant and invested early in your game. You're already charging them.
Yeah,
To me, that just seems like a misstep on their part.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, other than that, I think it's time to actually get into some technology news because there's a lot of it happening today.
Yeah,
Uh,
a little. There's this company. It's not a big company.
You may have heard of them.
You may have one of their items in your pocket,
Yeah,
in
or
your
in your house,
pants.
or in your house, in your pants. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
in your hand even.
yeah, or even in your
I
hand.
don't know.
Maxwell's probably got it in his
Near
hand
your
right now.
mouth.
It's in my hand while it's in my pants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Apple. You may have heard of them. They actually had their keynote today, where they announced a lot of updates and a lot of and two new well, not
Big
yeah.
reveal at the beginning though, right?
Yes, yes. So the big reveal was that Nintendo is going to be releasing a Mario Run game for iOS first, and then it's going to release on other platforms later. It's supposed to ship by, they said, holiday of this year. So what do you guys think of this? I mean, they had the president of Nintendo on stage, like, actually giving the details on this game. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. That's something I don't think that anybody really expected.
No, we were getting lunch, I think, when this happened, and we were watching it in the car, which I know we shouldn't be doing that, but I think both of our jaws hit the floor when they did that. I mean, that was such a big deal. I mean, that's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we all know that Nintendo is on this big push to be more of a more in the forefront of mobile apps. I mean, we've seen it with what's the name, Maxwell Mutomu? Is that right?
Mitomo.
Motomo. Yeah, we've seen that,
Miitomo, yeah.
and then we've seen the Pokemon game, and now we're seeing this. So it's definitely you can definitely tell it's starting to become a different Nintendo as far as what their strategy is.
Right. Well, because just a year or two ago, they specifically said they would not do this.
Right. And I think after they seen the success of Pokemon, I think that it may have made him change the tune a little bit. Now, when they first announced this, when Justin and I was watching it, we thought, "Oh my God, Mario's coming to iOS," and then we realized it was like just a run. It was a game that was being designed, specifically for iOS, and it was a run game. At first, I was kind of disappointed, but then when I started to think about what it would be like to play an actual regular Mario game on a touchscreen device, like moving left and right and jumping and things like that. I don't know if that's necessarily the best option for a touchscreen device. So I think having something where you're constantly being moved forward, you tap when you want to jump, you tap and hold longer when you want to jump higher, and then you run in the blocks that change the direction that you run. I think that's kind of a smart way to do it. What do you guys think?
I like it. Because that would get kind of annoying trying to use a joystick on your phone. At first, I thought it was going to be more like Temple Run, and I hated it. And then when they actually showed gameplay, I was still kind of turned off that it was a runner. But then, you and I kind of talked about it, and it sounded just better as we went along. And I still wish we had like a true Mario game, but it does look like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I've almost... Oh, go ahead, Maxwell. You got something to say?
I was wondering what kind of price they're going to put on this. What do you think?
Well-
I'm thinking 99 cents would be okay. I would actually do that, even though it does have that Temple Run feel to it, which I hate.
Yeah, I like the point that they made specifically that they were going to let it be a paid game. That way you could play as much as you want without fear of having to buy additional stuff. Because I think a lot of times with these free-to-play games, yes, you can get in at a free price, but you feel like it's more of a pay-to-win type situation. So, I mean, I'll gladly pay for the game as long as it means that I don't have to do any in-app purchases at all. So I think that's really cool. And to kind of jump ahead too, because it also is relevant to Nintendo, we seen a huge announcement
Pokemon Go.
that Pokemon Go is coming to the Apple Watch,
Yeah, that
which is awesome. I mean, you
Yeah.
could practically do everything on the watch, but I think catch Pokemon.
yeah, and that honestly, because I haven't been playing that game for quite some time. I kind of stopped, but this one might bring me back into it.
Well, because the big thing is like you only got credit for hatching eggs when the game was up and running and you were walking.
Yeah.
But now you're going to be able to have it on your watch, and your steps that you make throughout the day actually count towards hatching
That battery drain,
Pokemon.
though.
Yeah.
I barely played the game, and I had to get some egg in there and unhatch it, but I never opened the game up enough to ever do that.
Yeah.
So that was just like a feature that I would never take advantage of.
Yeah, so I think that's really cool. Now, outside the realms of that, is there anything else that surprised us before they got into announcing? They started with carpool karaoke.
Oh yeah, James Corden. Yeah. That was
yeah, what'd you think of that, Maxwell? Was that different or what?
Didn't like it at all.
You did.
What?
No, at first I thought it was just going to be a skit like what they do with MTV
Yeah.
movies and stuff,
man.
but that I don't know.
He didn't like to see Tim Cook sing at the top of his lungs, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But after that, then they got into updating products, and the first one was the Apple Watch.
Yes.
Right. So the Apple Watch now is they're coming out with an Apple Watch Gen 2.
Series
No,
2.
Series 2. That's right. And that's going to have a little bit of a faster processor. It's also going to have GPS built in. It's going to have a brighter screen. And it's also going to be more water resistant than the one that's currently out. So if you want to swim laps in a pool or take it in the ocean, you're able to do that. One of the things that I thought was really, really interesting was that they said that they actually used the force of the speaker to actually push water out of the speaker canal.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I thought that was kind
I
of...
wanted to see a demo of that on stage.
Yeah, but I think it looks really fantastic. I know Maxwell was a little bummed out that it's more of just an updated version of what's already out. Maxwell, were you looking for more of an actual design refresh?
Yes, because I mean I have the watch, but I don't know if I can get this in the frame.
Yeah, there you go. I see it.
But I hate that it's square. Honestly, I really want a round watch, which is what a lot of the competitors have started to go with the Android. And they're so much more visually appealing. It looks like a watch, for one. This just doesn't look like a watch because of the way it's rounded. Like even square watches kind of have like a flat side and then it's flat on your wrist. This is just like a bubble design, and I just am not.
I think the Apple Watch, to me, the first and the second series, to me reminds me a lot of the first generation iPhone. If you look at the design, as far as how it's a rounded rectangle and it's kind of very bubblish.
Yeah.
And I think Apple is still trying to figure out exactly what their niche is for the watch. I mean, because if you look at the design from the iPhone before they got to the iPhone 4, they all had very similar characteristics. So I think that it's going to come to the point where there's probably going to be options where they're just different designs and things like that. But I think right now they're just kind of refining, what they've already kind of came up with and adding some features to it. Another big deal was they partnered specifically with Nike to come out with a Nike edition of the Apple Watch with a specific band, and they're coming out with an app specifically for it. So I think that that's really, really cool. I'm kind of anxious to see what I'm really excited for Watch OS 3. I mean, a lot of people say that it's going to make the watch like it's a new watch. But we did see that the Series 2 is going to start at a price point of
$369, I think.
I think it's
That's right.
$369, and then they're updating the current one that's out by adding the faster processor, but it's not getting GPS or the brighter screen, and that's going to start at $269. So we've seen a slight increase because the 38 normally starts at $299 right now for the Series 1. So the Series 2 is going to be a little bit more expensive. But we also seen them introduce a new material, ceramic.
Yeah, that was odd.
Yeah, is ceramic now? Did they show that there was other colors in ceramic other than white, or was that the only one they showed?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that material seems like it would be interesting, and I don't know if they necessarily released a price for the ceramic one either. I assume it might be somewhere between the stainless steel and maybe the sport model pricing, possibly.
Well, they said it was a lot stronger than the stainless steel too.
Oh, did they? Oh, so
Yeah.
so it's probably more expensive then. So that's enough about Apple Watch. So the big thing that everybody was waiting on.
Oh well, I was gonna say
Yeah.
the addition to iWork where you can bring in guests and kind of kind of like Google Docs that we use, where we could both be looking at the document at the same time and edit it.
Oh,
But
the
they're going to be able to
iWork
do that
update,
with
yeah.
all of the iWork stuff. I thought that was actually really cool, and I think during college that would have been helpful.
Yeah, I mean, because I know a lot of times we're getting ready for our show notes. We're using Google Docs because it gives us that ability to be able to all edit in real
Collaborate.
time. And one of the big things is used to be able to do is you could send a document to somebody with an iCloud link. They could edit it, and you could see it happen in real time on the website. But you couldn't actually ever do it just within the programs themselves.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do that across iPad and Mac. You could only do that from Mac to Mac. So I think the fact now that you're going to be able to do it collaboration no matter what device you're on, I think is going to be really beneficial for students and people that just like to stay organized and working in group projects too. So the iPhone 7, you may have already seen some news on it, but that was released today. Announced, yes. And God does answer prayers, because Maxwell and I have been wanting a black iPhone since the iPhone 5. That's the last black iPhone we had, right, Maxwell?
That's right. Yeah, the 5S had that space gray.
So what do you
Crap.
think about the two black options?
I'm excited to see them in person. The jet black with the glossy finish looks really appealing, and then that whole video on like how they made it was insane.
That was really neat.
But it's really probably going to come down to me, like which one feels better in the hand, because right now, like the aluminum body or whatever it is very slick.
Yep.
So I have a case on it really just for that, and because of the protruding camera.
Yeah.
If the jet black one has more grip because of that glossy finish, I'll probably no case and just have the phone.
I was really surprised at the jet black, because it seems like there's more that goes into making that color than the other ones. It didn't seem to be that much more. It didn't seem to be any more expensive to get the jet black.
That's probably why they did the two. It's only available in the 128 and the 256.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Because that cost for them, it's probably cheaper. Just like whenever they had the 16 gig phone and they were trying to get everybody to buy the 64 gig, they had more profit on the 64 gig. Oddly enough.
Yeah. Now, do you think that it was a good move to finally move from 16 to 32 being the entry level?
Yeah, and I think they knew that was a problem, considering
they joked
changed. Yeah, I know. They initially stated that they were all starting at 16 again with the new ones, but then they tricked us. But
Phil Schiller got me. He got
they
me.
knew that it was a problem so much that it looks like they went back with the 6S, and the models coming forward for the 6S at the reduced price will actually be 32 gig and 128. Whatever.
Yeah, they also announced. So there's obviously going to be two different models. You're going to have the iPhone 7, iPhone 7 Plus. The biggest difference between the two, other than the screen size, is going to be one, battery life is a little bit better on the Plus, but also the camera. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the biggest difference between the two. The standard iPhone 7, it has just a single lens camera. It uses I think 6 lens, right? Like for
There's
focals.
like 6 layers.
Yeah.
Lens or something like that.
But yeah, it's a single lens camera, and the flash has been redesigned to have it's got 2 warm and 2 cool LEDs. So the flash seems like it's going to be a lot brighter. They said it was 50%. It was 50% brighter and also carries 50% farther as well. And it's supposed to give you more natural skin tones, like in bad lighting situations as well. And then the iPhone 7 Plus has a dual lens system. And the dual lens system, what it allows you to do is a couple things. One, it says that they actually allow you to zoom up to 10 times. I think after 5 times, though, up to 5 times it's an optical zoom.
I think so.
And then from 5 to 10 is a digital zoom, which is what we're used to doing now on our phones, which is the digital, right?
Wrong.
Wrong?
Oh, wrong.
Okay, well, tell me then.
It's going to be 2 times zoom just by using the telephoto lens. So the
okay.
second lens is going to be at that point the 2 times. The 5 times was digital, but they were saying that the quality behind the camera, the lens, the whole 9 yards was so good that they were able to push it 5 times further, so 10 times total,
Yeah.
and have like a substantially like crisp image.
I have to
which is
see how.
normally lost in
Yeah.
digital zoom. So
Yeah, I'll have to see. I'll have to see it work in action because it sounds really really cool. So the camera was the big thing. What was the second feature, Maxwell? I know you're a big photo buff. So the thing that they kind of previewed that's not going to be out but will be added via update, right?
right, yeah, because I guess this is purely based on the software matching up with the hardware. So it's going to use the two lenses to give us like just a beautiful bokeh effect. So or a shallow depth of field. So if you have, it's going to be called portrait mode specifically on the camera app, but you'll just swipe over from square, panoramic, or whatever to portrait, and it's going to automatically detect the face in the foreground and make a crisper image, and then blur out the background so you get that professional looking shot.
Yeah, I mean he kind of teased us because he said, "Well, first let me show you a picture that was taken with a professional grade camera," and it was the picture of the guy in the sunglasses with the crane in the background, and he talked you through how all this was possible. And he says, "Well, let me show you the first picture that was taken with the iPhone 7," and it was actually the picture that he said was taken with a high professional grade camera. So